this basically is something like a telescopic view of the work I've been doing in Uganda for the last 13 years. And what I've learned is that getting the information to the learners from primary school up through university at this point in time can really best be achieved through the distribution of the digital repositories, the things which we perhaps take for granted that we can, access through the internet, which they don't have yet there. It's just coming to Uganda. We finally have a great internet in Kampala itself. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So, okay, this slide is just, well, I decided to just give you text. I first got turned on to the internet at a presentation by a fellow by name of Mike Jensen, IDRC, in Geneva, 1995. I came to Tim Berners-Lee's mentor, his name Ben Siegel, nuclear physicist, British, and I told him I had this crazy idea of going to Uganda and distributing, well, like we just mentioned Jonny Appleseed, somehow getting this great content we have on the internet to the people in Uganda. Didn't quite know how to do it, but I had some great people who encouraged my faith when we met every month at CERN, the nuclear facility. The idea was basically, okay, you guys go down there and get the internet to the people. Well, there are all kinds of hurdles, and I'm just going to kind of telescope in and out here briefly so you can get a picture of what we were up against. Main thing at the very beginning was policymakers, government, what's the internet and why do we need it here? So we had to sensitize. We got a few champions. I suppose you've heard the story before. Get a champion and get someone who's in a position to open the doors for you so you don't get shut down before you get started. Then we worked with our partners there who didn't quite understand that internet was such a great thing. These are telecommunications companies, but we managed to persuade them to give us a shot at distributing the internet over GSM. And so I used the Celltel. It was the only company in town, mobile phone company in town. I used the Nokia 2110, if anybody remembers that. I had to use a PCMCI card, and we demonstrated. Demo or die. So once we had demonstrated, this is a picture from 1997, using laptop and this Nokia 2110. We began to get people in the government who were less, what shall I say, what's the word, Luddite mentality about not allowing us to get the internet spread in Uganda. And we got a few people in government to actually help us to get things going. We started out with using HF radio data. This was for great distances and very low, extremely low bandwidth. But it was, and this picture shows us setting up a center down near Bwindi, which is where the gorillas are. And we actually had a successful telecenter there where the tea growers found out the prices in the auction in Mombasa and therefore knew when to send their tea all the way across to the East Coast. Then we set up this center next to a hospital that actually saved lives. Again, this was by HF. And the doctor who was running that hospital is now one of the leaders in the Ministry of Health. Now we found out about some of the great content. Khan Academy. Has anybody seen Khan Academy stuff? KhanAcademy.org. Brilliant. Hundreds of maths, physics, chemistry, biology stuff. It's just a YouTube with a voice from Sal Khan. Have to take a look at that. And so we've been distributing these repositories now since about a year and a half. buy sneakers. This is actually the first beneficiary school picture here. School up in the extreme northwest of the country, between Congo and just on the border near Congo and Sudan, and they've got the best stuff in the world. They only have a very low bandwidth internet, but they've got a great repository. And so the Jonny Appleseed, this is the inside of the lab there, the concept of planting these repositories. This is what I'm working on now, because the internet is just so slow and expensive. And, well, we're now building specialist repositories. So, for instance, I just got, just a week and a half ago, a medical repository. Again, under the Creative Commons license, we got Johns Hopkins Medical School, Crufts, and so we're now distributing those. They've never been in Uganda before, and it's great fun planting these apple seeds. So now one of the restrictions is that you can only have so many people sitting around at the computers. They're not printing out huge volumes, and so I'm really looking to mobile web as the way to go. And it won't be long before the young people, I'm going to read this one, and people in the rural villages will be, using second-hand phones to scroll and get their information, this is something that I'm really looking forward to, and I'll do what I can to kind of help it happen. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Daniel. Fantastic.